We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions. We're going late night on a Friday tonight as the Tar Heels hold off a stern challenge from the Brown Bears. Not like a pack of bears, the team, the Brown Bears. 94-87 the final. Jones and Adam here with you. And Adam, this was a test. Brown played really well, particularly offensively. Carolina was not particularly happy with how it played defensively for about the first 2/3 or 3/4 of the game. That improved down the stretch. Let's start with, before we talk defense, let's just talk the reaction in total from Carolina. Really handled a pressure situation in the last 10 minutes or so.
Carolina did what they needed to do, and they needed to play a game like that at some point. You need that. You wanted to learn how Hubert Davis would handle a game like that, going possession by possession. What kind of calls would he make? What kind of adjustments would he make? And he and the Tar Heel coaches did make some good adjustments that helped Carolina take control of that game.
One of those adjustments was defensively changing the way that they played the ball screen in the second half, and that seemed to help because, boy, Brown was just killing Carolina on that high ball screen, either with the roller man or the man with the basketball. Both were hurting Carolina at different points in time, but the Tar Heel defense finally settled in there over the last, again, maybe 10-ish minutes of the game.
Finally got some stops. Brown, to their credit, made some shots.
Yeah.
It wasn't like all those shots were easy. They were making some tough ones, but Carolina's defense did tighten up, and Brown, so hot most of the game, finished 5 of their last 25.
I thought it was interesting in the postgame interview with Hubert Davis, which you'll hear in just a second. He said he's not worried about scoring. He said he feels like Carolina can score with anybody, and it helped tonight. 26 from R.J. Davis, including some big three-pointers down the stretch. Armando Bacot with a double-double, just one off his career high. He had 22 points and 10 rebounds. Those two guys, they weren't the only ones in double figures. Love and Manek were as well, but those two seemed to really carry Carolina offensively.
And I thought Bacot facilitated some of the outside play with his inside play because Brown decided after Bacot had dominated them that they would need to start double teaming him, and he was able to see the floor well enough to spread it back around to the perimeter where Carolina shot 43% from three.
Yeah.
It wasn't just R.J. Davis, it was a collective effort. And how long has it been since we've said Carolina's three-point shooting was a big positive difference in the game?
Caleb Love hit a pair of threes. Kerwin Walton had a three-pointer in this game. And Davis, red hot, 6 of 9 from three-point range, including 4 of them in the final 8 minutes or so of the ball game that really all proved to be enormous shots. And Adam, Carolina over 50% for the second time in as many games offensively. Just going back to that point, Tar Heels have looked pretty good offensively through 2 games. It's clear where the improvement is needed at the moment.
Got a lot of weapons offensively. Yeah. Need to find those same weapons defensively to be able to shut down even more potent offensive teams than Brown, which they'll face in the days ahead.
Okay, so I had a chance to talk with Coach Davis after the game. Adam sat down one-on-one with R.J. Davis, so Davis and Davis here in these interviews coming up. We'll let you listen to both of those, come back and wrap things up here on the Carolina Insider. That's right, big fella. Thank you. And this is the Continental Tire Coach's Corner after Carolina's come from behind win this evening in the Smith Center against Brown. You laugh. That was a nail biter. Your thoughts after this one, Coach? Some really good play from your team there down the stretch to get this one.
Well, I told them after the game that I was proud of them. I was proud of how they responded. Brown played extremely well. They're well coached, and they made us work on both ends of the floor. And so I was really happy with how we responded, particularly in the second half. And in key situations, we were able to get the ball to where we wanted to. And, RJ and Armando, everybody, I told them after the game that everybody made a play to help our team win and put ourselves in a position to win as well. And so we got to get better defensively. They took us at every direction, and that's an area that we have to improve on. But these are the type of situations and the type of games that you learn from, and I'm glad that we went through it.
I was going to ask you about the defensive effort. About 2/3 of the way through the game, they were still shooting about 60%. What were the challenges there from your view defensively?
Well, I felt like that we were panicking. In the timeouts, a number of times I had to tell them just to relax and calm down. There's so much time out there on the floor that we just need to stay solid. If we just continue to do the things that we have practiced in practice, we'll be more than fine. And so we finally started to work our principles. We made a switch on ball screens. We usually do an icing week where we get on the top and force that ball handler towards the basket, we decided to switch all ball screens. And so one of the things that I've told you before, I feel comfortable with that because our bigs can guard guards out there on the perimeter, and I think that took them out of their rhythm a little bit. And so I was happy defensively from that standpoint, the change that we made and how we responded on the defensive end.
I think the number, Coach, was 5 of the last 25 from the field for Brown after that point where they were shooting 60%, into the second half.
It's all defense for us. We can score. I don't have any problem with that. We can score with anybody in the country. It's going to be our defense. Can we become a great defensive team? And these type of games in this situation really teaches us how much we need to improve on that end. But again, I'm glad that we've gone through this situation because it's going to help us on Tuesday at College of Charleston. It's going to help us for the remainder of the year of how hard and how much we need to pay attention on the defensive end.
Let me ask about those two individuals before we let you go. R.J. Davis with a career high tonight, all the big threes there late. Armando Bacot just won off his career high. Felt like he carried you guys for a little bit there in the second half. What'd you like about what those two did?
They both stepped up. It's about players making plays. And so you can call plays, you can call sets. You need some dudes out there that can make some shots. And RJ made some shots. He made some plays, and he was confident in being able to make those plays. And then Armando was so dominant down low on the post. Even when they tried to double team, he had such low position, he was still able to score. And so I'm really proud of both of them. I thought they had a tremendous game, and I'm very proud of them stepping up.
Coach, next game on the road at College of Charleston, tough road trip for your team. What's the goal? What are the goals between now and then?
Play better defense. We're going to be able to score. We got to be better on the defensive end. And so these are things that we need to talk about and things that we need to improve on. And I'm glad that we have tomorrow off, but we've got Sunday and Monday to really practice, talk about our team on the defensive end, how we can improve.
That's the voice of the head coach of the Tar Heels, guys, Hubert Davis, inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Coach, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Alongside R.J. Davis in the Carolina locker room, right hand still smoking after a career-high 26 points and 6 3-pointers. R.J., what happened in that second half offensively as you got lots of open looks and knocked them all down?
I just trusted myself. My teammates were able to find me down the stretch, and I was able to make big shots to help our team get the lead.
What changed as you sort of took control of the game as a team? Brown had the lead for much of the game, and you were able to make that push.
I think our main thing was just to get stops. Brown was, executing down the stretch, doing one-on-ones, driving the lane, find open man. So I think down the stretch we had to, get stops and, take pride in guarding that man. And then we executed on the offensive end, contributing, grabbing rebounds, finding the open man, knocking down threes, making free throws. So that was a big help.
Brown shot the ball really well. Yeah. And they had a lot of success with that high pick and roll. What were they doing well, and what could Carolina do better defensively, especially against that play?
They were just executing their plays. They were going through it hard. They were finding open shooters, and then us, we just got to do a better job of guarding the man one-on-one. That's going to be our, the biggest difference towards the rest of the season. So, we'll learn from this and then move on from it.
That's the first real Carolina basketball in the Smith Center game that you've gotten to experience. As the crowd sort of realized, hey, we can make a difference in this in the second half, what was that like on the court?
It was great. Going from an empty gym to a packed arena, it was great energy. I think the crowd energy kind of helped us towards the end of the game. We fed off the energy from the crowd, and then we got it going. So that was a big thing.
We're still kind of learning a little bit about Hubert Davis as a coach, and that's the first time we've gotten to see him in a game that close back and forth. What was it like on the sideline in the huddle with him as the game was coming down to the final seconds?
He was just telling us to remain calm. We didn't need to rush, and for him to be calm because he's such a passionate person, that kind of calmed us down. We're gonna follow his lead. That was the main thing, and he just told us to just calm down. He knew we were gonna execute down the stretch, the last minutes of the game. So that was a big help for us.
We've talked some during the preseason about how you feel like a different player this year and all the work you put in the summer. Right. Your teammates elected you a captain. What's different about sophomore R.J. Davis?
My confidence is a lot higher. I know the work I put in this offseason, this summer, and I'm just trying to prove to myself that I belong. I know I'm a high-level player, and I'm just going to continue to keep working, and then feed off my teammates' energy, and then hopefully they feed off mine.
That's R.J. Davis after 26 points in the Smith Center.
We appreciate Coach Davis and R.J. Davis's time. And Adam, next up, first road game with fans there. It's at College of Charleston coming up on Tuesday. That will be a test.
It's just different. It's different being away from your gym, not shooting on your rims. Carolina's going to have a different experience on Tuesday night in Charleston.
8:30 tip. We'll be on the air at 7:30. Thanks for joining us here on the Rapid Reactions edition of the Carolina Insider.